We're back live at E3 with Shack, the Shacknews booth. I'm here with Turtle Beach. Can you let us know your title here?
Yeah, I'm Mac Marshall, and I'm the Senior Director of Brand and Communications at Turtle Beach.
Yeah, that's a very
it's a
professional sounding title. Yeah,
I talk about headsets. That's my job.
Yeah, there we go. So speaking of which, we're here to talk about headsets.
Yeah.
On these lovely glass models we have here.
Yes. Glass heads. That's Jim and Billy.
Yeah, there we go. I know from previously talking that these are the Xbox headsets, and tell us what's special about those this year.
So I mean, we just revealed these late last week, brought them to E3 to show them off for the first time. So what you're looking at, we announced this is the Stealth 600, and this is the Stealth 700.
Oh shoot, your mic.
I thought, all right, never mind. Should we start over from the beginning? Is this live?
Yes, we're live.
Oh, it's awesome. You probably should have told me.
We'll do it live.
This.
Yes, I probably should have. That's a good point.
All right. Should I start over?
Yeah.
Okay, so hey, I'm Mac Marshall again, and I'm the, ironically now the head of brand and communications
for
Turtle Beach.
That was on me.
Clearly it's the third day of E3,
yeah,
and everybody is losing their minds. So to recap what I just said, late last week we announced a handful of new headsets, and these are kind of the highlights right here. This is the Stealth 600, and that's the Stealth 700. These two right here that we're looking at are for Xbox. We also have a Stealth 600 and a Stealth 700 for PlayStation 4 as well. I'll start off with the 600. I'll start with both. So one of the first things is that both the 600 and the 700 are going to be the first two headsets that are available at retail that utilize Microsoft's new Xbox wireless technology, which lets the headset connect directly to the console, just like your wireless controller does. So there's no more, USB dongle or wireless transmitter. There's no base station or anything like that. Just like your controller, you turn the headset on, it turns your Xbox on, it syncs up, and you're ready to rock.
Historically, Microsoft's been pretty protective about letting things wirelessly connect.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, they're really excited about this. We have a great relationship with Microsoft. We love working with them, and we also have a pretty robust history of being kind of first to market with bringing new innovation in kind of gaming audio to the market. So this is kind of another check mark in that laundry list of firsts for us, which is we're really proud of. And then, so on the 600, feel free to take this here. One of the core things, so aside of both of them using the Xbox wireless tech, so surround sound, we're also using for both of these, we're using the new Windows Sonic for headphones surround sound. So it's virtual surround sound that's from the console right into the headset. So now you have the latest wireless connectivity, you have surround sound, we also have superhuman hearing, which I don't know if you're familiar with that, but what it does is it pulls
like Superman?
Yeah,
totally.
Kind of. It gives you a competitive advantage though, right? Because it allows you to hear like lower level game audio. So if like somebody was sneaking up behind you to try and go in for that stealth kill, you'd hear their feet shuffling up behind you before, right, they get you. Or if somebody was going to try and ambush me from around the corner, I'd hear them reload their weapon before they jump out. So I'd know to be looking that way.
What you're saying is very useful for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
For somebody who's as terrible at gaming as I am, yeah, it helps me not be a complete walking target the entire time. But then we have a handful of other features here. So I mean, one thing that we know is that everybody, when they look for a headset, they look for kind of two things predominantly, which is obviously great sound and comfort, right? So for sound, we tend to go with big 50 millimeter drivers. And what's kind of neat about that is when we look at a lot of the competition out there, and they have these smaller 40 millimeter drivers, right? And it's 56% more surface area on the 50 millimeter speaker, and that additional surface area gives you better sound because it pushes more air, it creates more bass, right? So it creates a better sound. And then in terms of comfort, on the 600, we have the fabric wrapped ear cushions and headband. You still have independent game and chat audio controls, and we also have, again, a lot of people, through what we see in terms of feedback and editorial stories, and also just kind of, fans that like our stuff, we see a lot of people always saying like, hey man, the mics on the Turtle Beach headsets always sound the best. So we have the latest iteration of our mics. These are an all new ID and style, and with a flip down mic now, and if you flip it up, it just mutes all the way, and if you don't want it at all, it just kind of folds over and blends into kind of the ID of the headset. So we spent a lot of time on these, and one of the coolest points about this is it's $99, right? So, Xbox wireless, surround sound, $99 right out of the gate.
Not breaking the bank or anything.
It's a pretty solid piece for what you're paying for. Mm-hmm. And if you're interested in stepping up a little bit, we can go from the 600 to the 700. And the 700, so on Xbox, for surround sound, we're still using the Windows Sonic for surround sound. And then we're also still using Xbox Wireless. But the key differences here is you have the synthetic leather for the ear pads and the headband, and that gives you a little bit better kind of passive noise isolation, as well as a little bit of improved bass response, because leather material actually captures bass a little bit better and kind of keeps it within the ear, so it sounds a little bit deeper. And then the other things that you get here are active noise cancellation and Bluetooth connectivity. And with Bluetooth, you can take calls while you're playing if you need to. You can listen to your own music when you're playing. And we're also launching the next iteration of our Turtle Beach Audio Hub app. And through that app, through Bluetooth, you'll be able to adjust a couple of other settings like mic monitoring, so you can hear your volume and how loud you sound in the headset, so you don't shout at other players. We also have something called Dynamic Chat Boost, which is kind of neat, where if you have it turned on, let's say the game play just gets really busy with lots of explosions or whatever, it's really noisy. If dynamic chat control is turned on, it just automatically pulls your chat audio volume up, so you can still hear you and your teammates over all the noise. When the game comes back down, it brings it back down to the normal level. So just like little things like that tend to provide a better gaming experience through better audio, right? And that's kind of our focus and our goal, and we always want to try and leverage that by leading innovation and bringing kind of new things into play that nobody else is doing.
So you mentioned Bluetooth, and you can like listen to music, for example. Does that work in tandem with the Xbox's own wireless communication?
Oh yeah,
as well. So you can be kind of doing.
Oh yeah.
Do you do both at the same time, or do you switch between one or the other?
No. You can literally just be playing a game, and the headset's connected to the Xbox with Xbox Wireless, and say you have Bluetooth turned on, and you get a phone call, boop, you answer the phone call while you're playing. There's no crossover or anything like that. It's really neat.
Cool.
And then on the PlayStation side, for the Stealth 600, obviously there's a couple different, in terms of how we do surround sound.
Sure.
So on the 600 side, clearly we're not using Windows Sonic for surround sound on PlayStation 4, so we're actually using our own Turtle Beach virtual surround sound. And on the Stealth 700 for PlayStation, we're using DTS Headphone X 7.1 surround sound. And then those are kind of like the real key differences between just the Xbox side and the PlayStation side. And again, the 700 goes from $99, and you add in the active noise cancellation Bluetooth, and that price goes to $149. But even at $149, it's a solid steal for, like, again, surround sound, fully wireless with latest wireless tech, now ANC and Bluetooth as well. It's a good bargain.
And you mentioned, I think you might have mentioned this, but just to make sure, that it's going to be the first one on the market.
We're excited. That goes back to what I was saying about our relationship with Microsoft and just being able to really kind of lead. I don't know if you know this, but so Turtle Beach is over 40 years old, right? Dates all the way back to the very earliest days, like 1975. But that's 40 years of audio expertise that has kind of evolved, every few years with whatever the kind of, next big thing is. And, we're 10 plus something years into the gaming headset space, where we started. We were the first gaming headsets for console, right? And so that has always since evolved in our partnership with Microsoft, and then that just kind of allows us to work really close with them and bring things to market first in terms of leveraging our expertise, and then also just innovation, right? Just kind of bringing things to market that help people have a better experience through audio.
So what has that history taught you that you've been able to incorporate into newer headsets? Obviously, 40 years of expertise. You got way back from the boombox days. Like,
it's funny
how
because
fast does audio evolve, really?
I don't necessarily think I don't necessarily look at it as audio specifically evolving, but just in terms of like the gaming audio, in terms of the headset and the features and the functionality that have added to the experience. Like, we did superhuman hearing before anybody else did something like superhuman hearing, right? So just that's something that we can say, hey, like, this was something we found cool. The dynamic chat boost we were talking about. We were also, just to throw a few out there, we were the very first fully wireless headsets on Xbox One that had wireless game audio and wireless chat audio with no wire from the headset to the controller, no wire from the headset to the console. So I think, like, in terms of just leading innovation, like audio, again, we still learn along the way. So again, we're going back to the 50 millimeter driver thing, right? We know that a 50 millimeter driver sounds better than a 40 millimeter driver, so that's why we put 50s in mostly all of our headsets. I think the only one that doesn't have a 50 right now is our chat only headset, which is a 40 millimeter driver that just floats, but it's also only delivering chat audio, so you don't need all the big deep bass, right? So we just tend to look at each product and go, okay, how can we evolve that one better from the prior year? If there's anything else we can add, if there's any new features and functionality that come online, whether that's something that comes from like, hey, Microsoft or Sony is working on this, we should be paying attention to it, and kind of trying to run as closely in parallel to them as we can, so that we can be first to market. And then again, we really do. We have a ton of patents on technology that really do just allow us to kind of do things that others can't.
And these are, like you said, they're like pretty inexpensive as far as headsets go. And Turtle Beach, I know, runs the gamut.
Well, yeah, and so that's kind of Turtle Beach's bread and butter. Is we've had a lot of other competitors in the spaces play within their own kind of price bands, like north of $200 or north of $100, whatever the case is.
Sure, yeah.
We've always kind of had a headset for everybody. Whether that's I was mentioning like we have a something called the Recon Chat, which will replace the chat headset that comes with your Xbox or PlayStation, eventually, if and when that breaks or gets sat on or whatever the case is. We have something that's literally costs the exact same, it's like $20, but it offers you a handful more of features and functionality that why wouldn't you go get that for the same amount of, the same price? We have $20, and this is $99, this one's $149. Our Elite Pro, which is our tournament grade gaming headset, is $199. So I think we really do, and that's just a few to mention, but we really have something for everybody depending on what you want in terms of features and functionality, or if what you want is more dictated by your budget. Like we have something for everyone.
And when you're making a tournament grade one, for example, like what kind of features does that audience demand that the average gamer who might get something like this doesn't really need?
Yeah, it's when we went, so we launched our Elite Pro headset last E3 was when we brought it out, and when we brought it out along with Optic Gaming in our corner as well. That's one of our partner teams that uses our Elite Pro headsets. And the kind of rationale behind the Elite Pro is that we saw a lot of other headsets in the market that maybe weren't necessarily originally designed for esports use, but they get used for esports all the time. And we kind of sat back and said, you know what, we hadn't done it in a long time on our end. It's about time to reboot and do something new for esports. So that Elite Pro headset, when it came out last year, was kind of like the first true esports headset created for esports from the ground up for like today's current generation of esports pros and aspiring pro players and hardcore gamers. And so when we looked at that, you look at the pros and you go, okay, like these guys really shouldn't even have to worry about or think about a headset on their head in terms of, oh, is this comfortable or not, or is it delivering the kind of quality game and chat audio that we need to survive and to win as a team, right? So, we really tuned that Elite Pro headset in terms of audio. We tuned it for esports, which means a lot of the chatter in esports is done in the mid-range. So our drivers are actually tuned to deliver more crisp audio for chat, so you hear each other clearly as a team, because teams live and die and win matches by communicating with each other. And then in terms of the game sound, again, we have the really big 50 millimeter drivers in there. The game sounds great in the headsets. And then the comfort is the other angle of the other end of this, which is we really kind of just went above and beyond with comfort. So that headset has everything from like memory foam ear cushions that are infused with cooling gel so that it stays nice and cool on your head while you're playing, because you don't really want, you see these, like, they get hot and sweaty and it's just annoying, right? You shouldn't have to think of that
They're
stuff.
Under the lights and everything.
But, exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's intense, so you're already kind of like, hot. So we just kind of went above and beyond to really try and make the headset feel great when you're wearing it and sound great when you're playing. And it's funny because we took it out, we pitched to Optic Gaming on it, and we talked to Hector, who's the CEO, and he said, come on out, let's see what you guys got, because we said, we have this new esports headset we want you guys to check out. Come on out. We went over to the Optic house, we kind of all gathered around and pulled it out and showed them this headset on the table, and like they all kind of were like, oh man, like this is pretty cool. And then they all talked about it on their end, came back like, yeah, we want to do this. This is cool. Like we want to work in. And so that was like their contract with Astro was coming to an end as we kind of reached out to them, and it just seemed to make sense and the timing was right. So we signed with Astro, and we signed with Optic Gaming, and it's we're still working with them now.
Cool. And was there a lot of fan feedback? Like, how do you respond to your community for new
I
sets?
mean, we're always listening to the. I mean, we just did a whole big round.
I'm sure you've got like a lot of audio files on your forums and such.
Yeah. Everyone's an audio file. But but the funny, we tend to look at like everything from the feedback that we see editorially when we send units out for reviews. We definitively look at stuff that people are saying online, whether it's on comments or anything on social at all. We pay attention to all that stuff. And really kind of, like I was saying before, we look at one headset the year before and say, what can we do to make it better, improve? And that's not only just looking at the functionality and features of the headset, but it's also taking into account any of the other kind of like, pros or cons kind of messaging and vibes that we're hearing from our fans and gamers as well. And so even Optic definitively has some feedback with us on, hey, like we think you guys should do this. We'll send them stuff early. We'll ask their opinions on things. They'll give us feedback, and it's really great to get feedback from the guys that definitively these are the pros.
Yeah.
These are the guys who know like gaming inside and out, and literally their career is dependent upon having a great headset on their heads.
So you just announced these. When can people have them?
Yes. So you can have the head. I will leave that with you if you want to take them with you.
There we go.
But no, all four of these. So the two Stealth 600s, one on Xbox, one on PlayStation, and the Stealth 700, the same thing, Xbox, PlayStation. They'll be out in early September, and again, they'll be the first ones out. They'll work with the new Xbox One X, the Scorpio. So again, be the first ones out there that actually just connect directly to the heads, connect directly to the console, and make your life a lot easier.
Exciting. Thank you.
It's really cool.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
And we'll be back with more from the Shacknews booth at E3.
And no more silent interviews without a microphone, I promise.